And we're very lucky because I hear that Joe doesn't usually give interviews, and we're lucky he thinks maybe this is the right audience. And all of you that know us are really looking forward to this. Now, Joe Cocker started in around '68, which is 8 years ago, and has gone to every extreme. He's had tremendous hits, The Letter, just, all Delta Lady, she came in through the bathroom window, and just last year, You Are So Beautiful, and albums that have been on for a whole year in a row, and movies, Mad Dogs and Englishmen, and he's worked with every great musician. I mean, there's probably none that you haven't worked with or that have been on your albums.
Okay.
And we're gonna. Okay, wait a second. Hi. And people have always wanted to work with Joe, and people like Leon Russell or Jimmy Page, or it just goes on. He's worked with every Nicky Hopkins, every fantastic musician in every field, and right now he seems to be really excited about some of the musicians he's working with in the new tour and the new record. And first we're going to talk about some of that stuff. Now, tell me first about the new. I just heard a tiny bit of it, and it happened. The song that I heard had the Wailers on it, and you recorded in Jamaica.
That's right. Yeah.
And
Dynamic Studios, right? The mighty Byron Lee.
he was on. Oh, he was on it too.
No. He doesn't sing anymore. I don't think. He just sits behind a desk. Yeah.
And do you like Jamaica a lot to record?
Right. It's a bit crude in parts. There's some things you can't. I don't know anything about engineering, right? But I could gather from the producer and the engineer there are things you can't get, So, but the thing that makes up for it is, it's very earthy sort of sound you can get out of the place.
And you did most of the recording there, or some in England, or some in New York? Where did you do?
All the time, it's what you're doing on the next album I'm putting out. Right, there are 10 tracks on it, and 9 of them were done in, the tracks anyway, were done in Jamaica, and 1 in Miami.
And I know you've used every, really, you've always had a fantastic selection of songwriters on your records. Which, songwriters did you use this time?
Let's see. These are mostly songs that are sort of stuck in my mind, I got into this stage where I couldn't remember the words to anything, so most of them are songs I sang basically because I could remember the words. And there are a few, different things. A guy called Bobby Charles who wrote See You Later Alligator years ago, right? A couple of his songs. And, I'm quite pleased with it.
And Leon Russell did a song on this one?
No, I did one of his, Song for You. Yeah.
And what does that sound like? Or maybe you can hum us a few bars, or do you want to wait till later in the program for that?
I've been singing it in every bar from Michigan to Pasadena, right?
And Michigan, where's that, in England?
What?
Oh, Michigan. Oh. And you and Leon friends now?
Yeah, I haven't seen him, for about a year.
You just like the song a lot?
Sure, right, yeah. Because everyone's been recording it and getting the words wrong, So I thought I'd listen to his version again and get the words right. And now I've been singing it with the words wrong.
With the words wrong? And tell me about some of the people that are out there in that studio that are going to be on tour with you now. You have some of the best in the world, so.
Right. Well, they're really, to me, I always dreamt of them as Atlantic session cats because, they the names, well anyway, Cornell Dupree, right? Richard T, Gordon Edwards, and Steve Gadd, and Eric Gale, right? Which is the Offsland. So it should be alright.
How did you, and if these guys are going to go on a, how many city tour? 60 city tour. How did you get them away? They're the best session men in the whole world. How did you ever get them? They must really be anxious to do it.
I mean, Cornell's worked with Aretha Franklin and Richard, so yeah, they know the road, and I think they're starting to feel confined, you know.
It's confined in the studio all day long. It's a very hot place to be. I mean, I bet in Jamaica it was a little more livable than in most studios.
Yeah, Cornell was saying that's first sort of breather he's had in ages.
And on the tour, and who are the girls?
We've only just decided that, and then the Lindsay sisters, right? Marianne and Phyllis, who I've been staying with for quite a while, and they just found this girl called Patty Punch, and it sounds pretty fair.
Well, when people like Rita Coolidge sang with you, or people like that, were they unknown when they first sang with you?
Rita, no, I think everyone knew around Memphis anyway.
Do you still see any of those people?
No, I haven't seen her of late. Not for a long time, no. I bought a record at Christmas, and I never got a chance to listen to it.
And do you find, when was the last time you did a tour like this?
Well, Australia, right, which was not that. How long was it? Right, 6 weeks.
Last time I did tour like this was May, 66.
Yeah, I see.
In where?
The last time we did a tour like this was the Mad Dogs, which was
In America, the Mad Dogs and Englishmen tour, and that was the one that was all on film. Was the whole tour on film? What did you think of that film?
The film? I didn't want to see it at first, for ages. But I thought it was all right, all right.
What did that do well in box office? Was a real smash in that album?
I keep, standard joke, but I keep getting letters all the time. Not letters, sort of invoices or outvoices saying, deficit $1.5 thousand. So that means I owe them that much, the MGM for having made the movie.
You mean
I'm
some?
supposed to get 50% of the gross, right? I've since been hip to the fact that you never take percentage of gross if you know what you're doing. So I'm going on net, right.
So wait, who saw all that money? Who saw that money?
Who? I don't know. I don't know if it did, but it did,
And was it that period that launched Shelter Records? Was it all that tour that started Leon Russell's record company? Or?
It was around that time they were kicking off, yeah.
So, but you have no hard feelings to them? Or?
No,
They all just went on and did?
I still see, the guy who runs Shelter, Denny Cordell.
Right.
And, we get along still. And, he didn't talk to Leon anymore. So, gossip, whatever.
That's what the show is always liked. Now tell me, from being like in the center of the whole, like I think right now everyone that I've spoken to is so excited about the new album and the tour. You must go through periods where the whole world thinks you're the greatest thing in the world, and then people sort of don't hear what's happening, or you sort of don't speak to, at least interview. A lot of people don't know what went on in certain years. Like, do you think this is the beginning of the next? I mean, you had a #2 single last year, right? So, do you know what I mean? Can you? Are you really optimistic about this whole thing?
Sure, it's great, we did Australia. The band's changed, it'll be different, Can't wait.
And what about, you've been feeling fantastic? You take good care of yourself?
Not really, no.
Drinking a little beer here and there?
I'm trying to remember the stuff someone gave me to drink. Terrible stuff, They're supposed to give it to asylum patients, but, all in the Vogue. What was it? Really weird stuff. You got molasses in it, and it was to counteract the effects of taking moon dust. Have you ever taken
Moon dust? LSD, but not moon dust.
Right.
We all went through our periods of that, I think.
Drains your body, of something or other. Yeah.
Especially when you weigh 95 pounds like me, it's not very good for you, any of that. No, but you look real healthy. You must, could you ever see living in Jamaica? Could you see, what do you plan to do when the whole tour is over?
Susan, right, your name?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We maybe go to South America, right?
On tour? What does that mean?
I don't know. Mumbling, sorry.
We're going to pinpoint an island that disappeared.
You sure they're not all watching this out there in the studio, right?
They'll be. Not right now. Not right now. That's what you can, you can, now do you have anything that, that you want to tell any of the people like that are watching, like anything that you feel that you haven't got to say, that you never said before, that you want to say? Like, you can really say anything on this. It's not censored. It's not,
Sure. Right, no, I'm worried about my stomach,
It doesn't look too bad.
No. I'm always worried about it. So, what, 3 months, might be able to shift a bit of it.
Were you ever married or any of that?
No.
Never? It must be the only person. Though I figured it out from a review. I actually took out old volumes of Rolling Stone last night, seeing I'm in the rock business, I have some of this stuff. And I said the first reviews ever written, John Mendelssohn's review, saying how fantastic. And do you...
Everybody disappears into the wilds, Everyone I meet disappears after a while.
That's what
A lot of artistic people, sort of vamoosed because of the hype and stuff. They just sort of resign to a quieter life,
But which people are you talking about?
Well, say like the company A&M, who I'm with, right?
Yeah.
Different. I mean, a lot of all the young, hot guys who were sort of into, a little far ahead with the art work and stuff, sort of were asked to leave, sort of thing, or you know what I mean? Because they just got a bit too hip for the ideal or whatever it is. But but that's getting a bit personal.
But no, that's
You're going to do all this stuff.
No, so do you, and you don't have any children either? Or is that another?
No, sure. No children. Feel it.
And the way I figured out when John Mendelssohn wrote the review, he said you were 24 years old, so that should make you still under 30 right now. Is that true?
Me? I'm 31. I'm 32, right?
Do you feel like you've been through more than those years?
No, that seems to be right. February the 28th, is it?
Is it? That's not your birthday.
No, it's today.
Oh. Is it leap year this year? No, wait. What do you see as the happiest point of your life, or is it right now?
Sure. I enjoyed my childhood, right? And I enjoy everything, right? intact, you know.
And which are there any musicians that you haven't worked with yet that you still would love to work with?
Yeah.
Like who?
Come on. I don't want to waste your time. Go on, lost.
Oh, okay. People like what about when people like Jimmy Page and those albums when they played on your albums? Were those people already famous, or was this all before any of this happened with Zeppelin, or you know?
Sure, Jimmy Page. You know, I knew about him. You know, up in the hills before I ever went to London, right? And right, as a session cat, right, and being young, same as Albert Lee, right? You know, they were just names that everyone knew about because of it was weird for them, that idea of being a session, going into studios, and before even sort of like wrote in it, must have been. Yeah.
So what do you think of all those people that there seem to be some careers that launched out of your career? Do people that were pretty unknown and then got pretty famous, or even in the movie? I think other people got famous out of that too. But you feel you're friendly with everybody and feel sort of good that happened. You were like the catalyst for all that, right?
Oh yeah, it was. I went along with the idea of it, and it's so far back. But it meant something, Everyone used to scowl at each other if it didn't, So now I'm just glad to get in a small group, I heard this great horn player the other night, so pick 'em slowly, lovely. Mm.
Were you really playing in a bar called Mikkel's? You mean people actually got? And you mean someone could have walked into that bar and actually seen you play? And you were playing too in the whole group?
Well, it's sort of like a real sort of pleasant feeling, So it's it's alright. It's just, you meet Australian disc jockeys and sort of, oddity sort of people.
Wait, it's right here in New York, though, isn't it, that place? Mikkel's?
Yeah.
Because it sounded like whoever walked in there was in for some kind of treat, So the life on the road for you, is that hard? It seems like a hard kind of thing. 60 dates is a lot. I mean, how do you find that on your brain, I think it's hard for anyone.
Not too bad. It's just I've been involved with this album, right, since October. And, taking some time off from it. But, just this is great, to change the wheels around or whatever.
Do you have certain cities?
Yeah, just to get out there, live.
Do you think that's the most exciting thing to be on stage still? Or is that still the thrilling? What's the most thrilling thing?
Soon know once we get going.
In the past, has being on stage though been the most thrilling part of it?
Yeah, really, I suppose. But I mean, quite at home, this sort of surrounding. If they got a fizzy carpet.
And what's the name of the album that's going to be on A&M? Do you know the name of that, or when it's going to come out?
Yeah, Stingray.
That's a nice name. How'd you get that?
Just for something to say,
Is that the kind of car you ride around in? You know what a Stingray is?
From catfish, right? Cat piss, which seems, like cat piss. I mean, I don't know who could have thought of that one. So, Stingray it is.
And you know what month that'll be out? End of March? Oh, so that'll be out really soon. In a few weeks.
Susan?
Yeah. Okay. All right, so Joe Cocker and I are going to go in and we're going to hear a little of some of this new, music that's going to be all over the United States, starting, the 60-city tour, and Cornell Dupuy and all the great musicians that he's working with. And we hope that you got a little more out of what Joe Cocker's really like from this, okay?
Good night. The epilogue, lovely. Yeah. So you just splice that apart, right? And take snippets of it, yeah.
Well, it all depends. Give a real camera so we could take a picture, a little picture.
Oh, I didn't bring
You didn't bring it? Oh.
I was saying too. But
Sarah was time.
So you're going to come in the other room with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, get up, Susan.
Oh, I was going to talk about Manny's. Would you endorse that as the best shop to get a guitar in the world?
I wouldn't, no.
No?
God, it's so a terrible thing. Is the mic still going?
No. I mean, it might, I don't know. He's just doing this for some pictures.
I almost did a commercial for a microphone. Oh,
Did you?
I couldn't believe how I fell for it. The back of the Fillmore East, right?
Uh-huh.
And this guy said, do you mind holding this mic, and standing against his amplifier? And, I said, what's it for? I said, well, you use it, we'll give you, we probably got a load of free gear or something. Terrible, dangerous subject advertising.
I got that microphone yesterday, another one you used on the road in Australia.
A Sennheiser.
That square.
The black one.
Yeah, the one Rob bought for it, remember? Special one we used on the road in Australia.
I thought we got something else.
No, it's like a long.
I know that one.
Like that.
The studio musicians in the world and Joe Cocker. And just so you can hear his voice a little, I'm going to put the microphone right on him.
What did you say? If you say go on, what you doing?
No, I said go on and do it, we do.
Yeah, that's all. Low, so you can't really set something like this up.
Is it on or off? It's on? These guys have played behind everyone there is. Aretha, Roberta, Paul Simon, most of Philadelphia International. Here we go.
Great.
Seems I've got to have a change of scene, 'cause every night I have a strangest dream. Imprisoned by the way of curtain, left you on my own, or so it seems. I gotta leave before I start to scream, but someone locked the door and took the key. Feeling alright, I'm not feeling good myself. Feeling alright, I'm not feeling good myself. Boy, you shut to me for one bit right. Even now I sit and wonder why. Yeah, when I think of you, I start to cry. Can't help myself, must keep trying. Till someone come along and take my place with a different name and a different face. Feeling alright, not feeling good myself. I know you feel alright, not feeling too good myself. Don't get the lost in all I say, but at the time, you know, I felt that way. But that was then, and now you know, yesterday. I can't get straight, I guess I'm here to stay. Lord. I know you're feeling alright. I'm not feeling good myself. You're feeling alright. I'm not feeling good myself. Feeling alright.
Thanks a lot, 'cause it was really great meeting you, really. It was great, yeah. It was great. All right, let's... Okay. Oh, all right, let me say thank you once more.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Joe
Thank you,
Cocker.
Susan. Yes.
It was really exciting, and I think it's going to be a really fantastic tour and record. Okay, good night. Bye.
Let me see it. Miss? Can't hear one more time. Yeah, I can't hear you. Feeling alright.